Remember that time you spent hours looking for something you knew you owned, but it was buried under a mountain of stuff? I do. It was like a never-ending treasure hunt, but without the treasure, just frustration and wasted time. It felt like my life was consumed by things. Everywhere I turned, there was more stuff, more clutter, more chaos. It was as if my possessions had taken over my home and my mind. My home was overflowing with clothes I never wore, gadgets I barely touched, and knickknacks that gathered dust. Each item seemed to scream for attention, yet none of them brought me joy or satisfaction. I was always cleaning, organizing, and yet somehow always surrounded by clutter. It was exhausting. The more I tried to tidy up, the more it seemed to multiply. It felt like a losing battle. The worst part? All this stuff wasn't making me happy. In fact, it was doing the opposite. It was draining my energy and my spirit. It was weighing me down, both physically and emotionally. The clutter was a constant reminder of unfinished tasks and unfulfilled promises. I yearned for a simpler life, one with less stress and more meaning. I wanted to break free from the chains of materialism and find true contentment. I craved a sense of peace and freedom that seemed to elude me amidst the chaos. I imagined a life where I could breathe easy, where my surroundings reflected my inner calm. Little did I know that a radical shift in perspective was just around the corner, one that would completely transform my relationship with my possessions and, ultimately, myself. It was the beginning of a journey towards minimalism, a journey towards reclaiming my life and my happiness. One evening, I stumbled upon a documentary about minimalism. It was a quiet night and I was looking for something to watch, something that could perhaps spark a new idea or perspective. The idea instantly resonated with me. It felt like a breath of fresh air, a new way of thinking that I had been unknowingly searching for. It wasn't about living in a stark white box with nothing but a mattress and a spoon. Instead, it was about creating a space that felt warm, inviting, and truly mine. It was about owning things that added value to your life and letting go of the rest. Each item had to earn its place in my home and in my heart. I felt a glimmer of hope. A sense of relief washed over me as I realized that I didn't have to hold on to everything. Maybe this was the answer I'd been searching for, a way to find clarity and purpose in a world filled with distractions. The more I learned about minimalism, the more I realized it wasn't just about decluttering my home, it was a holistic approach to life. It was about decluttering my life, removing the unnecessary to make room for what truly mattered. It was about prioritizing experiences over possessions, relationships over material goods, and intentionality over impulse. It was about living a life filled with meaning and purpose. The minimalist philosophy resonated with me on a deep level. It felt like a guiding light showing me a path to a more fulfilling life. It was time to embark on a journey of simplifying, of letting go of the excess and embracing the essential. And I was ready for the challenge. With a newfound sense of purpose, I felt prepared to take on this transformative journey. At first, the thought of getting rid of my belongings was daunting. The sheer volume of stuff I had accumulated over the years was overwhelming. I had sentimental attachments to many things, each item holding a memory, a moment in time that I cherished. The fear of making the wrong decision paralyzed me. What if I let go of something I would regret later? But I knew I had to start somewhere. The clutter was not just physical, it was mental and emotional too. So I picked one area, my closet, and began. It seemed like a manageable place to start. I held each item of clothing in my hands and asked myself, does this bring me joy? Does it serve a purpose in my life now? If the answer was no, it went into the donation pile. It was surprisingly liberating. Each item I let go of felt like a small victory. As I let go of more and more items, I felt a weight lifting off my shoulders. The space around me began to feel lighter, more open. I realized that true freedom came not from accumulating more, but from owning less. The fewer things I had, the more I appreciated each one. The process wasn't always easy, but with each item I released, I gained a little more clarity, a little more space, and a little more peace of mind. It was a journey of self-discovery. In the end, letting go was not just about decluttering my home, but about finding freedom and peace within myself. Embracing minimalism has been a transformative experience. My home is no longer a source of stress, but a sanctuary of peace and tranquility. I have more time for things that truly matter, spending time with loved ones, pursuing my passions, and simply enjoying the present moment. Minimalism has not only simplified my living space, but it has also simplified my mind. I'm more mindful of my consumption habits, my values, and what truly brings me happiness. It's not about deprivation. It's about living intentionally and finding joy in the things that matter most. The journey of minimalism is ongoing, a constant process of refining and letting go. But with each step I take, I feel lighter, freer, and more connected to myself and the world around me. You don't have to wait for a life-altering event to embrace minimalism. Start small. Choose one area of your life to simplify: your wardrobe, your kitchen, your digital space. Let go of things that no longer serve you, and focus on what truly matters. Remember, minimalism is not one size fits all. It's about designing a life that aligns with your values and brings you joy. It's about creating space for the things that matter most. Take a deep breath, trust the process, and enjoy the journey to a more intentional and fulfilling life.